There are two situations where Roth conversions make a ton of sense. If your income is really, really low, or if markets take a big downturn. And what you don't want to do is implement Roth conversions when they don't make sense for you. Sounds straightforward, but I see it all the time. I'm going to give you a real client case example of this so that you can quantify it in your head. But the reason I'm making this video is a lot of people are reaching out before year end. And a lot of these people are clients. A lot of these people are people that are hoping to become clients. And a lot of them are just people who watch our content saying, hey, should I implement a conversion before the end of the year? And they'll just ask that. And that's not enough information for us to know if we can help. So the reason I'm making this video is I don't want any of you to be burned later going, hey, why did I do that conversion? Or why didn't I do that conversion? So I'm going to walk through what even a conversion is and how you can think through this, especially for 2024 and beyond. Now, I'll allude to it for this year, but I just want you to make sure that you've got your head on straight with this. So we're going to hop in just a second to my real example. But the way I'm going to go about this is first explaining what is a Roth conversion. Like, why are you even doing this? The reason you're doing a Roth conversion is if you retire early, and a lot of you know this, but I'm a certified financial planner, host of the Early Retirement Podcast, and I love helping people retire early. So when you retire early, your income drops. Your income might get very, very low, meaning you might be making $200,000, $300,000. Then all of a sudden your income gets really low. And this is when people start cheering and like a client will like clap my hand. They'll shake my hand and be like, you did such a good job. I retired. My income's low. I'm like, no. I did nothing. I want to now take advantage of this because your income is really low. And they're like, I don't understand. Like, why am I taking advantage? Are you saying, Ari, that you want me to pay taxes when I don't even need to pay taxes? I'm like, yeah, that's exactly right. So I have this dumb analogy. I call it the cauliflower example. And a lot of you know it. But the premise is I want you to go out there and I want you to eat a little bit of cauliflower. I want you to do it on purpose. I mean, I want you to go eat a little bit of vegetables or pay a little bit in taxes. Because if you don't, you're going to get slammed by these RMDs in the future, okay? RMDs are required minimum distributions. For most of you, age 75 is what you have to worry about. So you might be retiring early at 55 or 60 or 63 going, hey, I'll worry about that when I'm dead. Just kidding. You won't say that. But I had one client say, all right, who cares? That's in 10, 20 years from now. I'm like, it'll be here sooner than you think, and you don't want to be crushed in taxes. So I'm all about being patriotic, but not to the point you pay more in taxes than you need to. And a lot of you are going to overpay in taxes if you don't look at Roth conversions. So a Roth conversion, very, very simply, is saying, hey, if you're in a low tax bracket, maybe you're in the 10% or the 12% bracket, let's go guarantee moving money from your IRA to your Roth IRA, paying taxes at 10 or 12%, just federally, of course. Now there's state taxes in addition to that, but just paying 10 or 12% to avoid paying at 28, 30, 35, 40 plus percent in the future, federal and state combined. And so people go, wait a second, okay. So I'm going to intentionally go pay taxes at a very low rate to avoid paying it at the higher rate. Okay, I get that. How much is that going to cost me? Like, where's cash going to come from to do this? Now, you can either withhold from your IRA. It doesn't make the conversion as effective because when you take money from an IRA, it shoots your income up. Versus if you take from a brokerage account or cash, it keeps your income down so you can do a better conversion. But I know it can get confusing really quickly, so I want to keep it simple. So the time to do a Roth conversion, I'm going to show it to you, by the way, so just hang with me for a second. The time to do a Roth conversion when your income's really low and you know RMDs are going to be an issue. So if you've got $500,000 in an IRA and you're like, hey, RMDs don't seem like a big concern for me, you should probably prioritize healthcare subsidies. Don't worry about Roth conversions, more likely than not. Not always, of course. Other cases where it makes sense to do a Roth conversion is if markets go down. So if markets go down 30, 40%, why would you do a Roth conversion? People ask me. Some people say, Ari, I'm really scared to retire early because if markets go down, it was easy while I was working. I could just add new dollars and didn't feel that scary. I didn't like when markets went down, but when it happened, I was adding new dollars, so it didn't really bother me. I knew I was still getting in at a discount a little bit. But when I retire, that's not going to be happening anymore, meaning I'm not going to be working where I now have the opportunity to add more dollars to my 401k. So when I retire, that's it. No new dollars are being added. And I'll tell them, yes, they are. They're like, are you like not hearing me? Like there's no new dollars being added. I'm retired. I go, I hear you. It's just you're not doing it in the traditional sense. What you're going to do is when markets go down and you have a big RMD issue, you are going to move extra dollars from your IRA to your Roth. And you're like, why would you do that? And I'll give them this example. Let's assume you buy Apple stock for $5 and it grows to $10. Okay. Now that's all in your IRA. When you take that money out of your IRA, it's called ordinary income tax. You just pay taxes as if you made more money. It's pretty simple. The difference is, let's assume you buy Apple stock for $5 and it goes down to $2, meaning markets went down like crazy. And then you do a Roth conversion. and you move that $2 of Apple stock from your IRA to your Roth IRA. Now you have $2 in your Roth and it grows to $10. Well, that $10 of Apple stock, that's now all in your Roth IRA. So when you take it out, it's completely tax-free forever. So almost think of it like going to the grocery store and just buying things at a discount, or just going shopping and buying things at a discount. That's all you're doing. So Roth conversions can make a ton of sense, but let me be crystal clear here. I do not believe in market timing. You don't want to try to time the market and hope you get it right. What you want to do is say, hey, what Roth conversion do I want to do? So for all my clients, I give them 3 numbers. An NBB, okay, I do it in a silly way so it resonates with my clients. NBB stands for no brainer bracket. That means no matter what happens, we have to fill up this bracket. If markets do good or bad, this is a no brainer. For a lot of my clients, that's the 12% bracket this year. Other times they'll say, all right, what if markets go down? I'll say, if markets go down, we want to fill up some of this 22% bracket or this 24% bracket, which is going to become the 25% bracket in 2026. Then I'll give them a third number, and that third number is their TB. TB stands for tax bomb, okay? So your no-brainer bracket, your NBB, that's like 12%. Then you have your no-brainer dynamic bracket. That's like depending on how markets do, are we going to convert or not? Then you have your tax bomb, and that's it. If we do nothing at all, what's going to happen well into the future? So those are the numbers I'll give my clients, and I'll show them, here's the impact of that. So I know this was a lot already, but I'm going to now show you on my screen right now a case study of thinking through a Roth conversion and how it might impact your plan. So it's going to, I think, resonate. It's going to connect all the dots here. So let's hop right in. So this is a tax sample. You can see sample clients here, Tim and Sally sample. And all I'm doing, I'm going to explain to you what we're looking at right now, and then I'm going to give you some context. So what we're looking at is essentially a couple that's retired, and they're wondering, should we do Roth conversions? So even if you're not 67, or if you're 63 or 65, or even if you're 60, you can start to look into this for your situation. And so what you're seeing right off the bat, these lines that I'm kind of hovering across right now, these are different tax brackets. So I'm going to just leave it here for a second. The blue dot, you can see that's the 10% bracket. The green dot, that's the 12% bracket. The tan, I should probably pick a better color, 22% bracket, and the orange is the 24% bracket. So if I hover across this line, that's the 10%, that's the 12%, that's the 22%. These are your tax brackets just here in the US. So what we get to do is say, hey, what if we don't do any of this at all? And for this particular client, their RMDs are going to start age 73. So they're coming to me going, hey, what do I do? Should I do Roth conversions? And what you're going to see is if they do some Roth conversions, it can certainly help. Meaning if they just fill up just the 10% bracket, you can see the little green is being filled up here now. I know it's very small, but the green, it used to be nothing here. Okay, so I'll show it to you without anything so you can see what I mean. Once again, is here it is. You can see all this white space right in here. What I'm doing is I'm doing a Roth conversion. I'm saying, hey, clients, can you please be willing to just pay a little bit of taxes, eat a little bit of cauliflower to avoid paying a ton in the future? And you can see if they do a little bit of a conversion, it's going to help them. It's going to add $30,000 more tax-free over the course of their retirement. Now, what if we keep going? Because this is what most people do. They'll go, yeah, this looks good. Oh my God, what about this? What if we fill up that 12% bracket? All right, you made it sound like that's pretty good. That's like your no-brainer bracket, your NBB. I go, that's right. And I make this up to be silly because this stuff gets complicated really quickly, but I try to make it resonate. So I know it's goofy. But the premise here is if this client fills up the 12% bracket, that's this green. What's happening is I'm asking them to pay a little bit in taxes to avoid a big RMD in the future because they're going to be forced to take out more than they know what to do with. And it can certainly help. I mean, it can add hundreds of thousands of more dollars. And sometimes this can be $2 million. Sometimes this can be $50,000. It just depends on your plan. But now I want you to keep watching this because if we try to keep doing more conversions, I want you to watch this number. You go, wow, what does that say right there? It says 45,000 fewer dollars. And here's what a lot of people do is they'll come to me and they'll go, Ari, I already did a Roth conversion. I say, I wish you did nothing at all because now we have to fix the mistake. Now I say it nicer than this, but I say we have to fix the mistake of doing too much of a Roth conversion where it actually didn't make sense to. And so this couple, they're going to have an RMD problem, but if you just convert like crazy, what's going to happen is actually you're going to end up with fewer dollars. I mean, it's going to be better off if you did nothing at all. So this is why with Roth conversion planning, which by the way, you have until December 31st to do a Roth conversion or not do one. It's not like a Roth IRA contribution. We have until April 18th of 2024. you have until the end of the year. And so watch what happens if we go a little further here. I mean, what if you just keep doing this? Well, now that there's hundreds of thousands fewer dollars if you're just, and I'm not saying you're going to do this, but if you're like, let me just convert up to I just want to fill up this 24% bracket, it wouldn't make sense to do this. Now, a lot of you right now are going, hey, this is great, but like, I don't even know what kind of clients you're talking about right here. So I'm going to show it to you so you guys know what I'm talking about. This is the client that I'm looking at. It's just a sample case here. And so you can see Tim and Sally both have $500,000. I just put a super basic example here, but these are real clients. I just changed their names. So 500,000 each of them in an IRA and the primary home of $800,000. So this is just super simple. They've got $1 million. They own their home. That's where I took this example from. Now, a lot of this is going to depend on what they want to spend. So they want to retire at 67, and you can see monthly expenses $7,500. What's going to change in the plan here is if they want to spend $6,000 a month, or let's just say $5,000 a month, we'll go back to the tax plan. And the reason I'm going through it this way so you guys can see what I'm doing here is it changes the plan in a bigger way than you think, where now what happens is their RMDs are going to be larger. So the benefit of doing Roth conversions is going to be greater because what's happening is they're spending less, which means their IRAs are going to grow more. And therefore, RMDs, when they're larger, means you're going to get taxed at a higher rate. Here's another way of looking at this. So you're going to see a lot of numbers on the next page here, but I promise I'm not trying to overwhelm you guys. I just think this is helpful. So what I want you to focus on is this column on the right here. This is net flows. Don't worry about all this mumbo jumbo in the middle, okay? What this net flows is, this is the important category. This is the category that tells me how much income I need to send to a client so they can do what they want to do. So for example, if we're looking at this client, they have expenses, meaning let's assume they want to spend $5,000 a month. I'll adjust that for inflation. So here they are, they want to spend $60,000 a year, then $61,800, then $63,654, and so on. And so we'll do that, and you can see I'll increase that. This is the expenses column right here throughout retirement. And then all of a sudden, in the future, what's going to happen is the following. They're going to have RMDs of $55,000, whether they want to or not, and they already have income coming in. You go, what income's coming in? Well, they have 2 Social Security benefits. So what's happening is if we fast forward, and I'll go through this line by line with you right now. Let's go to 73. They're both 73 in 2029. They're going to have 2 Social Security benefits. They're going to have RMDs, which means $143,000. That's coming in the door. Now, sometimes people go, Ari, are you not hearing me? You know, a client will say this. They go, Ari, are you not hearing me? I don't need $143,000. I go, oh, I'm hearing you. The government doesn't care. Meaning you told me you wanted to spend $5,000 a month or $60,000 a year adjusted for inflation, which in 2029 would be $71,643. But Ari, you're making me take out $143,000. So what's happening? Well, we don't want to forget about taxes and what that'll cost. But what's happening is meaning what are we up against? We're up against our $71,000 of expenses and our tax payment, which means $83,000 is what we need. So let's look at this net flows. This net flows that says 55,000, that's not a good thing, guys. This is a bad thing. What this means is $55,000 is going to be taxed at the highest marginal bracket. And this continues to increase and increase and increase to the point where $80,000, $90,000 is going to be taxed at their highest bracket in retirement. As you can see, it becomes a lot very quickly. So I never want to overwhelm with planning because too often I get that paralysis analysis. I see it all the time of people going Roth conversions, healthcare subsidies, estate planning, withdrawal strategy. What do I do? And then they don't do anything. I don't want you to do that. I want you to take action and understand either on your own or working with a planner, does a Roth conversion make sense for you? Of course, I'm biased. This is what I love to do. But to be honest, what people very rarely, in my opinion, look at is what if you don't do a Roth conversion? Like, what do you mean? I go, you could spend more. You could spend more on travel. You could go do more fun things. And that's going to decrease your RMD because you're spending more money. And people go, yeah, but I don't want to just go spend for the sake of spending. I go, yeah, I don't want you to either. But really good financial planning, in my opinion, is not the best Roth conversion strategy. What I mean by that is if you wanted the best Roth conversion strategy, go work 20 more years and have an amazing RMD and do an amazing Roth conversion in a few years. And your RMD, you could try to dial in that Roth conversion strategy to be perfect, but I promise you, you'll look back and go, hey, why do I have a perfect Roth conversion, not a perfect life? So the premise is I want you to do a great Roth conversions in light of what I want you to do. I had a client come to me once and say, Ari, you sound really excited about this conversion stuff. I go, I am. I like this stuff a lot. They go, yeah, so you seem so excited. I don't want to go travel because I don't want to ruin your Roth conversion plans. And that was a big wow moment for me because I'm like, hey, I almost presented this in such a way that it's like, we're doing this, look how awesome this is. And I was the first to tell them, hey, that's not the goal of this. Like, I'd rather you go travel and we do a $50,000 conversion instead of a $65,000 conversion, because you cannot quantify that experience and you have more than enough money. You're going to be okay. So the premise here is don't get so lost in the numbers that you just go do conversions for conversion's sake. They can make a ton of sense. There's also instances to not do them. So as you can see in today's video, it really depends on what you're looking for. And if you have 1 million or 2 million or 500,000 or 10 million, the same analysis applies. You just have to maneuver it in a few different ways. So hopefully this video was helpful for some insight. If you're looking for a custom strategy, of course, this is what we love to do. So reach out to us, see the link in the description of today's video, and please leave a comment if this was helpful. Thank you.